And we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
I'm Treacherous Trista.
And we're joined here by a lot of people, the fine people of Sick and Wrong, and they're making a film, Fat Fleshy Fingers, which I feel personally attacked by. I thought maybe it was about me or something, but so here we go. Why doesn't everyone introduce themselves?
I guess I should start.
Yeah.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Steven Stull. I'm the creator of the Sick and Wrong Film Festival, and I thought it would be a great idea to make a movie with all these fucking weirdos. And I don't regret it at all.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, somebody else say something now.
Yeah. This is very well organized. Michael Epstein, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Michael Epstein, and I thought it was a bad idea to make a movie with all these weirdos, but and I already regret it.
How about Anthony and Gerline here?
I'm Gerline and
Anthony, and yeah, we're in New Orleans, hanging out.
Nothing about regrets?
No regrets yet. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Lauren, I guess I should have just introduced everyone. Lauren, but then we wouldn't know anything about regrets.
No, I'm thinking of what I regret.
We're gonna get real personal here.
But no regrets. My name's Lauren. I'm in Western Mass right now, but I'm located in Boston usually. Boston.
I was just in Boston this week. My first time since the pandemic.
It's it's nice.
Yeah, it was hot. I was very sweaty. Like Steven was
got beans, I guess. I don't know much about Boston, to be honest.
Fair enough. I'm drinking coffee that I bought there. This is very interesting. How about, and you don't know about regrets yet?
Oh, no,
we all know about regret.
What do I regret?
Coming on the show?
not preparing better, maybe.
And Michael, who just joined us, who I believe may be muted. He's unmuted.
Hey, yeah, I'm Michael Arcos. I also usually am in New Orleans, but I'm on this strange camping trip in Mississippi, and I had a hard time finding Wi-Fi, so I'm at a Waffle House right now.
Nice.
You guys get a good view.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
Are you gonna listen to the Waffle House songs, like the custom Waffle House songs made?
Oh, yes. This one doesn't seem like. This one is musicless.
Oh man.
Actually, I think they might have like.
Well, do they have a jukebox? Do they have a jukebox over there? You're supposed to drop some quarters in. That's like I remember. It's been a long time since I've been inside a Waffle House.
Oh yeah, they have one of those jukeboxes where you can stay and put whatever. Yeah, definitely right here.
You see that, Michael? They do have a jukebox.
No. The jukebox is where you play. I'm saying it's embarrassing that you don't know, because like the Waffle House has a whole bunch of custom songs written about the Waffle House.
Ooh, I might have to pull
Did you ever write one?
My favorite song is "Going Back to the Waffle House."
Give us a quick rendition, Michael.
I'm going back to the Waffle House. Anyway, that's all you get.
That's
Without paying a quarter for
fantastic.
the jukebox, that's all you get. Anyway, sorry.
No, I feel like you and Sophia should have done one, because I remember last time I was with you guys, you were playing songs that you made for like local places in Boston.
Yeah, the Waffle House songs are all written by the wife of the founder of Waffle House. They're all like, I think, performed as well.
It's more than I've ever known about the Waffle House before.
It's the best part of the Waffle House.
Do you know? FEMA uses Waffle Houses as like a marker for how bad disasters are in certain areas. Like whenever a tornado cuts through or something, as long as the Waffle House, like whether the Waffle Houses are open and serving food, or whether they're open and just serving coffee, or whether they closed, like tells FEMA how bad things are in the area.
Yeah, I've only been to Waffle House once, and it was at like 3 a.m. at night, and some guy just hanging outside offered us $5 to drive him down the street. And I was not for this, but the driver wanted the $5, and the whole time I thought we were all going to get murdered. But
I've been kicked out of Waffle Houses on multiple times, actually. That's probably why I haven't been back to. Yeah. Well, the easy story is that we showed up at like 4:30, and around 11:30, the people behind the counter were like, all right, the church crowd's coming in. You guys have to go. We need these spaces. Because we just drank coffee for 7 hours. And they're like, all right, that's it. You have to go.
Yes, I know all about this. So now that we got Waffle House out of the way,
Waffle House is done. We didn't get all the good sweat talk on camera here. Sorry, those people listening right now.
Potato.
part of podcasting is you have to leave them wanting more. Part two, we'll get into the sweat.
Yeah, I started things off kind of sarcastically. I apologize. I am really fucking super excited about this project. I'm really glad to have these filmmakers here. All of these filmmakers are people who've had movies at the Sick and Wrong Film Festival, and they're just incredible creators. I've never seen anything like the stuff that these people on camera right now have made, and that's one of the reasons I brought them together, because they're so beautifully bizarre. And I wanted to put their voices together on a weird movie.
So when did this idea come about? Like, when did you start thinking, you've been doing Sick and Wrong for a few years, and everything together make something,
I think it was after, I think it came to me. So last year was just a general garbage fire for everybody. Sick and Wrong went online for the first time, and hopefully last time. So we did that. The festival finally took place in July when it was originally scheduled to take place in May. Anyway, in December, I organized a 72-hour film challenge thing called The Debacle. And that's how I met a couple of these people. Well, no, Lauren, anyway. That's how we got Lauren into the fold, was through The Debacle. And it was just so much fun. The way it worked is I gave everybody prompts. Generated some random prompts, gave everybody prompts, and then they went and made movies based on those prompts in 72 hours. And it was so much fun. After that is when I started really thinking around, like, I would love to put people, I like bossing people around and telling them what to do. So I said, I don't know, after the debacle is when I just had this idea, hey, why don't I bring people together and I tried to make a short list of filmmakers I would really love to have on a Sick and Wrong movie, and the short list wound up being like 50 names long, and I didn't think that was a great idea, so I whittled it down. And anyway, yeah, it was after the debacle, after seeing what came back from all of these people creating movies based on just some random fucking ideas I had and threw at them. It was really inspiring. And so I decided to do it in like a more serious kind of way, instead of just because I was rolling dice and giving Buddy weird moods and story elements and things like that. So I don't know. I thought I wanted to do it for realsies.
Right. So each person here, we'll start with Michael Arcross. How did you get involved, and how long have you been going to Sick and Wrong?
Wait a second. I don't think we met Trista. Or maybe I came in late. Or maybe I don't think I.
She works here.
Okay. Nice to meet you. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm a co-host.
Okay. I see. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm all scrambled here.
That's right.
Okay, just answer
Scrambled. Scrambled like the eggs at Waffle House.
Yeah, that's right.
Now that we're talking to Trista, I am curious about the picture behind her. I'm not sure what this is.
That's Helena Bonham Carter?
It is Helena Bonham Carter. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I like it. It's Fight Club and the Queen. But
Nice.
Michael, sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. Go on.
No, I'm also admiring the Norman Bates painting, the black and
Oh,
white.
thank you. That was hand
Really
painted by my friend Annabelle for my for Christmas one year.
That's really good. Sorry, the question was, I guess, how I got involved.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like, how long have you been going to or been part of Sick and Wrong, and then how did you get involved in the film?
Yeah, I mean, Sick and Wrong has been on my radar for maybe, I think, 4 years, and I've been submitting since then, and it's always been like a great platform for my work and places to explore some other work that I don't usually share, and having good conversations with Steven here and there. But yeah, I was excited about this project and really looking forward to seeing what we all come up with.
Lauren, we found out that you started with the debacle. That's how you were part of Sick and Wrong. What did you submit for it?
Oh, I made a film, I guess, incorporating, I collaged together some unfinished footage. I'm an animator. So I had a bunch of like kind of materials that I had, like stop motion puppets. I was given the prompt of my film had to be horny, and it had to involve body parts going into household objects. So I took like an old puppet.
Right up my alley.
Right. I took an old puppet and it was a headless puppet. So I attached a tea bag to it and dipped it into a mug. And that met the criteria technically, I guess. But it was called nice/good white lady capitalism. And it was kind of about being feeling a million things, being confused about owning sexuality versus selling oneself as an artist, and things like that. Kind of maybe mostly just trying to be a silly, funny. It was about masturbation. I could have just said that. I should have just said that. So,
well, you said they're really, I think, personify sick and wrong, because some people might think this is just, let's just do something gross and sick and wrong. But a lot of it, you know, there's also more to it. It's not just, let's just make something as awful as we can think of, and there's nothing behind it.
So it was, yeah, there's like, it was like supposed to be a little bit uncomfortable. Like I have some weird memories of being, we don't have to get into specifics. Watch the film, maybe.
I was going to say, can we see the film? Is it online or?
It's on my Vimeo. I have a Vimeo, or you could go to my website, laurenflinner.com. F like Frank, LINNER.
I will check this out after the show. Gerline and Anthony, how did you get involved with Sick and Wrong?
We actually met Steven at Florida Film Festival and just got to talking with him, and then we were Get Up Hero got into Sick and Wrong, and then we also had Cosmic Spaghetti. We did the Debacle. Yeah, we just like Steven. He's cool. So when he asked us to be a part of it, we were like, hell yeah.
Mr. Epstein.
Well, I'll try to be brief. You all know I'm bad at that, but we met Steven, I think 3 years ago at Genre Blast, actually, and he came up to us and said, here is a tote bag for a festival that I run. And I think, did it have this art on it?
It did, yeah, that was the art.
So anyway,
no, it didn't.
It's a little different, yeah, but it's similar. Anyway, Steven will show you the tote bag, but he came up, he's like, I run a festival called Sick and Wrong. I don't know if he said he was from Florida, but somehow I gathered that he's from Florida.
I just have that Florida man look to me.
He had the Florida look. And then he's like, I got a movie playing, in a session later called The Jerry Show. And I'm like, all right, I am not feeling really positive about a festival called Sick and Wrong from Florida with a guy, with Steven, this guy, Steven, that I've met. I'm like, I'm a little iffy on it. So The Jerry Show, which if anybody has not seen The Jerry Show, incredible film, Steven made it.
One of my favorites.
I started watching it and I'm like, man, this is a really offensive and terrible movie. And then like about 2 minutes into it, I'm like, this is my favorite movie that I've seen in a year. This is an awesome movie. And then I'm like, all right, I like this guy, Steven. I'm into it. Tell me more about this Sick and Wrong thing. And so then, we had first, the year after that, we had a film that we produced called Half Cock that played there. And then last year, our film called Pride played there and won the Weirdest Boner Award, which is the greatest award that I've ever received in my life. Probably will be the greatest award that I'll ever receive in my life. And we've just been, chatting all pandemic. Steven has been somebody that we've talked to regularly on the old internet. And we've collaborated on some projects in the meantime, including a feature film called The Transformations of the Doctors Jenkins. And so, yeah, it's been really fun working with him and being associated in some way as a filmmaker with the festival. And so we're really excited to be part of this project and to,
But Steven, do you do the artwork?
No. Every year I hire an artist. So the shirt that Michael and Gerline are wearing, that art was created by a fellow named Jimmy Gigerich or Gigerich. Sorry, Jimmy, I don't out of Baltimore. He's also the one who made the artwork for this tote bag. This was the tote bag that I foisted on Michael and Sophia when I first saw them. The nasty film canister. This year I haven't. I'm behind on a lot of stuff. I haven't hired my artist yet this year for this year's art, but I do have a new logo, a black metal logo by a Finnish artist named Krisu. And then this was our 2020 art.
Yeah, I love that.
This was, where's my mic? This was created by an artist named Kylie Marklin, who is also doing some art for us for the perks on the Fat Fleshy Fingers Kickstarter.
So when you you decide you want to make a movie with everyone, how do you decide what we're going to make, and how are they connected?
The first year I did Sick and Wrong. I'm doing this a lot like I did Sick and Wrong the festival, in that I have no clue what I'm doing. I did a modicum of research by bugging a couple of friends of mine who had been involved in anthologies before and taking a look at some, whatever agreements or anything that everybody had. And then I just, I had this idea. I don't know where it came from. I was reading a lot about like mind control parasites. And I had this idea about like a pretty horrific sexually transmitted parasite that would like control people's minds. And I guess I did things the wrong way, because I hired my friend Katie Gelhart. She's a effects artist and pyro artist and just general all around artistic Swiss Army knife weirdo who lives in Germany. I hired her to make a bunch of worms for me. She's a very skilled artist, and I paid her a lot of money to make these things. And so she started working on those, and then I thought, oh shit, I guess I should get some filmmakers on board. Maybe nobody wants to do this, Fortunately, the filmmakers I reached out to, in large part, I don't want to spill any tea or whatever. In large part, the filmmakers I reached out to were very enthusiastic. In fact, without, I don't want to. Anyway, the people who turned me down didn't do so because they weren't interested. They did so because they had, a lot going on and didn't have time and didn't want to overpromise on what they could deliver, and so they weren't able. But everybody I reached out to on this short list was really thrilled about it, especially because since I did everything backwards, I was able to entice them. Hang on. I got a giant box here and there's no organization to it.
It's like Carrot Top.
There we go. Yeah. My props over here. I was able to entice them with this guy. Here he is. This is our worm. This is what Katie Gelhart created for me. She designed it and sculpted it from scratch. I mean, from her materials, but like, the lighting is a lot better than I usually have. So you can kind of see the fleshy sort of splotchiness to it. And you can almost see some of the like weird vein work inside it. So yeah, once I had these in hand, I could show them to the people I was talking to, and I think it had a strong impact on whether they wanted to participate. At least I hope so. I don't know why they decided to participate. I'm glad they did. We could ask them. Yeah.
Did that sculpture have any impact on your decision to be involved?
Does anybody have any names for it yet? Has anybody given like a name to it?
I have a friend who threw out a name, and I don't know whether it applies to all of them. Like, I welcome you guys to name your own worms, but I'm calling mine Spoogie because of my friend Pamela. She named it Spoogie.
It almost looks like a Lego that it would connect at the top to other.
Turn him into a big worm Voltron.
So did everyone get their own? Everyone has theirs now?
Yeah.
I thought about bringing it into my job to take a picture with it because I make teeth. I make like ceramic
no further
teeth
comment.
for like to go in people's mouths, like crowns and things like that. And it's just like a really quirky looking little like laboratory setup. And I really I just started the job only like 2 weeks ago, and I brought it in my car. I was like this close to bringing it in and being like, hello, new coworkers, please take a picture of me with this in front of this laboratory equipment and my creepy gloves. And but I chickened out because it's
amazing.
A big gross worm.
And so somebody give me a kind of a reality check on just how perverse. Does anyone else look at this thing and think that, oh, that's weirdly sexual? That's uncomfortably.
Very phallic.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I noticed someone on Facebook mentioned Bad Dragon, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, every time I post about it, there's a lot of that. I try to sway the conversation away from those elements, but you know, it comes with the territory, I suppose.
Right.
Although I guess in some of our production meetings, I won't. I'll leave this as a tease. I'm not gonna spill all the details just yet. But in some of our production meetings, like that sort of interpretation of the shape of this thing is not lost on the filmmakers. We have some plans.
Gerline and Anthony, so when you guys are I don't know how far along anyone's project is. Like, have people started to film them already, or?
As far as I'm aware, no. I don't want to speak for anybody, but everybody's kind of waiting on the outcome of the Kickstarter campaign.
Right, which we're here to talk about. Over to the
Rosa, stop.
He's got something to say.
Yeah. So on the Kickstarter, you just we'll have the link up there. People can go to. There's a lot of cool perks on the Kickstarter.
I think so. I hope so. Everybody here is offering something kind of personal. Lauren is recreating religious artworks in her own style. Michael Arcos is doing an embroidery. Is offering an embroidery of the worm. I've seen a couple of pictures that he sent me. They're gorgeous. Yeah, they're fantastic. Gerline is designing some. Excuse me, sorry. And by the way, just a side note. All of the perks are campaign exclusives. Like, they're not. This is one of the things that was really important to me before we started the campaign, is that I wanted everybody who backed the campaign to get a unique experience, you know. So, like, for instance, there is
hash browns.
So, for instance, there is one of the perks is you get to watch the movie in a live, an online secret screening, but the screening will only be available to backers. Everything else, we're not going to sell tickets to that screening. It's going to be specifically for the backers, and all of the perks are specifically for the backers. Oh, I didn't mention Gerline's designing a postcard that's going to be specific to the campaign, like basically kind of a thank you postcard for the campaign. And the only way you're going to get one is to back the campaign. Michael has offered himself up as a sort of a sacrificial lamb. He's going to be yelled at, yeah, and we have some takers on that already.
It's free to bring that up. Sophia just joined the chat room here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She's probably going to buy that herself.
Be here for this, but I just want to add, it's not an official perk, but I'm willing to record covers of any of the Waffle House songs as a bonus.
Dang. I'm gonna have to throw down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just post for no reward and then message me, and we'll make it happen.
I love it. Tristan, do you have a question?
I'm interested in the logistics of running a Kickstarter campaign, because it seems like almost a full-time job, and a lot of people I know have done it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah, no, it's pretty terrible. I honestly, whatever. It's important to have, and by the way, I shouldn't even be answering this. Michael Epstein should be answering this because he literally wrote a book about this. I don't know if he wants to throw in a little bit
mean,
and
you're-
tell me
you know
everything
the
I've done
answer.
wrong.
You're right. It's terrible. It's hard. It's terrible. No, I mean I think that's kind of what I wrote in the book, that like it's really hard. You take, because so I don't want to get too sidetracked, but the thing is, there's a lot. The reason I wrote a book in the first place is because there's a lot of stuff out there about running campaigns that are kind of like, look at this famous person who ran this campaign and made $1 million and whatever, and they don't really contextualize it for somebody, for people like us who are basically going to rely on a much smaller audience, much less engaged, audience. And so I was trying to develop sort of best practices for how you gather together the people, because you're mostly going to get backing from your friends, family, and people who are kind of related to the communities that you're in, or if you have a target community for a specialized project. And so I wanted to write a book that was kind of talking about that experience. And basically what Steven said, it's terrible. Trista, as you said, it's basically a full-time job. You need to plan out, 30 days of things to be constantly talking about, so you're not just posting every day being like, I've got a campaign, give me money. I've got a campaign, give me money. And it's hard. That's the answer. Yes, hard.
I think the brass ring of crowdfunding in general, the promise of it is something that still is hard to grab. And the promise is like that you could get a whole bunch of strangers on board to throw in a little bit of money. Like if I could find 10,000 strangers to throw in $5, for instance, that's the ideal for me. Instead, like Michael said, you end up kind of relying a lot on the communities that you're already a part of. So I have, I personally know people who've put in some very big ticket pledges, and I cannot overstate my appreciativeness to them. I thank them so much, but it stings a little, it would be better to have, like I said, 10,000 people throw in $5. That would be my perfect dream scenario. It's tough. It's tough to make that happen because who has that kind of reach, right?
You're doing a great job, Steven. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
So Gerline and Anthony, so right now you're waiting for the Kickstarter to finish, but like what are you doing to prepare? Do you have a script out for the short, or for your
It's so funny that you picked them. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let them answer.
I was trying to get everyone involved.
No, we're doing interstitials, so like we're like the last people who are going to be doing anything. So
the way I've been describing it is that we're like the mortar to everyone's bricks. Like the other filmmakers are going to make their scenes and we're going to like tie it all together with them to make it a whole film instead of a collection of separate films.
That's interesting. When you do something like that, I assume you have to talk to each of the individual people as opposed, to get their take on what their thing is, and also to fit the whole anthology itself.
Right. Yeah, we've been all meeting together and talking about everything, or as many people that can show up. So yeah, it's going to come to a point where we're going to have to like really get with everyone and get it all right. And we actually haven't discussed that far down the road how it's going to all come together, the editing and all that. So that'll be interesting too. Like
along those lines, we've all seen anthologies where it literally is people made a bunch of shorts by themselves, not even connected, and they put them together so they are like a feature, which that can be cool and stuff. But they're already connected with the thingamajig. Yeah. But besides that, is there going to be any connection, like the tone or anything like that?
I don't. This is something we've been talking about a lot, and I don't want to. If somebody else, I don't want to monopolize the conversation here. But like, this is something we've been talking about a lot, and it will not. It was very important to me. I don't want to sound disparaging. I have loved. Like, I've watched the ABCs of Death 2 probably 19 times because I just love it so much. But it was always important to me that the movie be a cohesive whole. That it not just be like a bunch of disjoint or disparate segments together. And the filmmakers seem very on board with that. So we've been discussing a lot of like, I think our tones are going to go all over the place. I think our tones and even our genres are probably going to go all over the place, but there are going to be these little anchor points of theme and even like recurring recurring motifs that pop up.
Motifs, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. I think my new fucking light that I just charged up is dying. Damn it. Oh, well, sorry. But yeah, no, that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Well, Michael Across, who just ate his hash browns, what did you do to prepare for that? Are you talking with the other filmmakers?
Yeah, we've been talking pretty regularly. For me, I definitely like wanted the parasite to maybe move between like a colony of cats and just like see what was going on with that. But
Tristan got very excited about the cat.
but I had the parasite like out in my like office, which is in my like middle room, and I have some friends in and out here and there. And my friend Kelly saw it and just was kind of turned on by its like phallic nature and was like just thought it was like a dildo I had just like lying around. And from there, me and my friend Iris just kind of started writing this concept where Kelly, my friend, has this kind of, I won't spoil anything, but a close relationship to a dead parasite, because these things are very still, you know, like just around the house. So I got excited about seeing, in my piece, I think I'm incorporating a dead parasite aside from one living. So it'd be like easier to maybe work with, I guess.
Interesting. Lauren, will yours be animated?
Yeah, I want to work with animation and kind of in general, I like to move between different styles of animating and different styles of filmmaking. So hopefully it'll be a mixture of, well, okay, my huge dream is to actually work with a lot of like decaying material and like time lapse of like do like some stop motion of like plants both growing and decaying, but maybe even work with slime molds and like so representations of the worm in other mediums, as well as using the actual worm in different like real life scenarios. It's going to be a little bit, I think we're still figuring things out, but I might be working on what will end up being kind of an origin story for the parasite that's getting really like going ancient mythology, sort of tying it into a creation story for the parasite. But I would love to be able to work with specifically like organic material and puppets and do like a time lapse of them, like kind of like, so the puppets are moving while the plants are kind of like, you know, pulsating and growing along with them. I have space to do it now because I'm not allowed to do it at home. My husband said I'm not allowed to experiment with molds.
I think that's a fair rule. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you mentioned earlier about making teeth, do the people at work, do they know that you make these weird movies?
Not yet. They're gonna.
They're gonna.
I'm chatty, so.
Oh, very cool. Michael Epstein, do you have any plans for your segment?
Yeah. It's been exciting to meet with everyone and work through, because we all, many of us brought kind of first drafts of scripts or ideas together, and then from that, a lot of little things helped inform kind of the mythology and the biomechanics of the parasite. And so as we have those discussions, I think our stories, at least for us, our stories evolved a lot, and we have a lot of different ideas about it. But we just want to use it as an excuse to like do some things that we haven't gotten a chance to do, like shoot on a spaceship set. And I mean, it's going to depend.
You have a spaceship handy?
There are spaceship sets that are available to us that just, the financials are the question at this point. And then we really just want to have like an old astronaut guy yell and curse at children a lot. That's just really appealing to us. And we have an idea about who we want to cast for that, which I won't say, but you can guess. And we'll see about whether that can happen. What?
I kind of have a guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you know.
I love the idea of cursing at children. I feel like I should have made that a requirement for every segment.
It definitely it has a high appeal. Space and cursing at children are the two main elements of ours. Yeah.
Children cursing is more appealing to me. Watch children curse or like smoke
the children
cigarettes.
will also curse in ours. Yeah, the children will also curse. I don't want to limit it. It's a bi-directional. It's a give.
There was an idea floated in one of the meetings about requiring somebody to poop themselves in every segment, but I got shot down pretty hard on that.
It's always the sequel. Tim Madon here in the chat. When you experiment with mold, you end up with a Resident Evil type situations. Just warning about the mold.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying Jeremy Long says hello, but what were you going to say about the mold?
Yeah, what mold?
I haven't been able to experiment with slime mold yet, but I've done some experiments with like just letting some food get moldy over time and like trying to I like to do collages out of them.
It's not an accident. Yeah.
Oh wait, did I say accidentally? Yeah. It's I did this thing where I like took some bread and strawberries and like tried to make a collage out of it and then do a time lapse of my idea was like to do a bunch of short answer is have just begun my experiments. So we'll see if we end up with a Resident Evil scenario.
Dr. Frankenstein over here. Yeah.
What is slime mold? I don't think I'm
I didn't want to ask because I thought maybe I'm just dumb.
It's like microscopic mold, maybe? Yeah, right.
It's like a bunch of unicellular organisms that like kind of cluster. I'm gonna get this wrong too because I'm like just absorbing this information. So there's lots of cool YouTube videos about them. They're like unicellular organisms. I'm pretty sure they swarm together, they clump together, and form this kind of community. A gelatinous community that exhibits signs of intelligence even and they're fast. It's fascinating.
Does sound like a wrong road to go down. I don't know. So.
Then what harm could possibly befall?
I like that you can learn anything on the YouTube. I learned to tie a tie once. And learned to use like Adobe Illustrate, and she's learning about molds that have intelligence. And
yeah, intelligent molds, and
interesting. Gerline Anthony, how's the dog doing?
Well, he's biting himself, so you can see he's got his collar on to keep him.
I thought maybe he had a surgery.
Chewing his ass off.
Right.
I take him out in public like this because I feel like everyone should know. Like, I like to humiliate him.
It's his dunce cap.
He looks happy though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
He's used to it now.
Ignorance is bliss.
Saw the cat earlier in the background as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's gone now. Yeah. We've got 4 cats, 2 dogs, so there's a lot of activity around.
Michael, if you want to go back to the cat idea, we have cat actors.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Maybe we can match them up. I like this image. I like this image of your dog with like the airplane thing on. It's really cute. Yeah, maybe we can incorporate that as well.
Sure. Yeah. I took the worm outside, and there's an outside cat that's like super friendly and laid back, and he like laid on his back, and I like placed it on him, like on his belly. And I have a photo, and
that's fantastic.
Maybe we could use that for promotion.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Side note, since you mentioned it, we do have a perk right now that Ms. Blanche the dog is going to deign to have herself photographed with the worm on Polaroid, and so you can get some Polaroids. Anybody listening right now, you can get some Polaroids of Blanche with the worm, with Spoogie, or I don't know what Michael's worm's name is.
Yeah, Spoogie's fine. Yeah, Blanche is not. She's tolerant of Spoogie, but not a fan. I would say she's not really into it. She's just kind of like. But we can get her to stay still long enough to take beautiful Polaroid pictures. So
different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Yeah. Will Blanche make an appearance in your film?
We haven't figured out how yet, but it feels like it's inevitable.
Trista, do you have a question?
Yeah, I know Michael's here in LA, but I'm wondering what the indie film scene is, where you guys all are. What it's like? Is there like a thriving indie film community in all of your locations?
Wait, where are you, Lauren? I forget.
Oh, I guess right now I'm in Western Mass, which I mean, yeah, the like kind of the Five College area. It has like a huge kind of a film and arts and, you know, just like a college vibe. Sorry, I used the word vibe, but
I say vibe too. It's awful.
You, but I didn't know it was a bad thing. Now I feel
no, it's a great thing. It's good. We're very cool. And Boston, I'm learning more about. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about, because I've just I'm starting a residency with the Boston Center for the Arts. And we got to tour the studios. There's some studios that look like there's eccentric filmmakers in them. Got the film posters all over them. I don't know yet that much about Boston, but it seems like there's a big community, especially with the Boston Underground Film Festival. Now I'm thinking about it. Sorry to keep going, but
yeah. That was the first film festival I ever went to. Big fan.
I feel like Gerline, Anthony, and myself are probably like 3 of like 5 doing more subversive or underground stuff in New Orleans. But no, there's a really nice, thriving independent film community in New Orleans that really supportive and nourishing of our stuff.
There's another Sick and Wrong alumnus from New Orleans named Joe Badon, who's also trying to raise money for a movie right now, but I don't want to talk about it because I'm trying to raise money for my movie.
You can get a lot.
How about you, where you are, Stephen? Is there a big community, independent film community?
I'm gonna try to be guarded with my answer. There does not seem to be much of a community for weird movies. There is a large, I think, you know, we have in this town, we have UCF, which has a pretty solid film program, and then we have Full Sail, and Full Sail turns out fucking 50,000 graduates every year or whatever. But so there's a lot of people in Orlando making stuff, but I swear it is bizarre to me how few submissions I ever get to the festival from Orlando. I barely get stuff from Florida. Most of the stuff I get from Florida comes from like FSU or UF even, but I rarely get anything from Orlando, which, you know, I'm really bad at doing stuff, and it's kind of hard to get Orlandoans to come out. I think I frequently have more visiting filmmakers come to the live festival than Orlandoans come out and bring their butts to the seats. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of people in Orlando making movies. They're just not, it doesn't seem to be a thriving heart of weirdness. That's why I went to all over the planet to get, like, there's none of the filmmakers on Fat Fleshy Fingers are anywhere near me. I think the closest they get is you folks in New Orleans.
Did I cut you off, Michael, when you were going on about New Orleans? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. He's trying to get a piece of pie now.
All right.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hi.
He'll give you a good tip.
Yeah, I definitely need to give a good tip. I'm just like the language that I'm using. I haven't been really thinking about it, but I've had a couple of people kind of give me some bad looks.
Back in the day, I used to do the film series Dinner and a Movie with my friend Annabelle, and we would literally just set it up in restaurants and film, and so I know about all the weird things he would say. A lot of late nights, not in the Waffle House, but in IHOP.
Man.
I grew up with a Denny's that actually still had like a smoking section. Do y'all remember that? And like it just like
Every
the whole
place
place smelled like cigarettes.
Yeah. Who was the comedian who said having a smoking section in a restaurant is like having a peeing section in a pool?
That's absolutely correct.
I mean, it was really common but I'm an old man.
Yeah, same here. I remember Golden Corral and that little like half wall that would separate the smoking section inside. It's like, oh, if you sit on this side, obviously you're not going to get any smoke on you. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Wendy's.
Probably the grossest thing I've ever been to was the smoking room in the Atlanta airport.
Oh, God.
My brother is a big smoker, and that's like everything's just covered in ash.
Oh, sounds like
I'll meet you out there. You can have your smoke.
Sounds like my grandfather's car when I got in.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Had to-
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, so New Orleans.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, is there a community there in New Orleans?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of local filmmakers, but like Mike was saying, it's probably not as many, I guess, subversive and weird people. Maybe, I don't know.
Like we always end up like at New Orleans Film Festival. We end up in like the midnight block section. Like we're not put in like the serious sections. We just are in like the midnight shorts.
Yeah, so we end up like really away from all of the other local filmmakers because we're like too weird. You know? But Michael's usually there too, so.
Michael Epstein, are there a lot of filmmakers in your area?
I haven't met any yet, but allegedly there's some. No, actually there's you think Los Angeles is just like big industry crap, but there's actually a huge community of weirdos who just come here to make weird art, and so it's actually, I think it's been quite nice working with people here, and I think there's a lot of support for strange things and strange doings in general. So and we came from Boston, so Boston Underground, I give a shout out to, because I was mentioned, Boston Underground was like our home fest. I think without Boston Underground, we would have probably quit filmmaking about 10 years ago and never have done anything since. So I think the only reason we're even here is because everybody at Boston Underground was like way too nice to us and supportive of us. So.
Yeah. And I met Michael when they were in Boston. That's how I got to know him originally.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, how since you said there wasn't a big weird film community where you are, how did Sick?
This is a good story. There are probably Film Fest veterans listening to this or watching this or sitting in the room with me right now who had the experience I had way earlier than I did. But in 2013, I started volunteering at the Florida Film Festival, which is one of those big like prestige Oscar qualifying festivals here in Orlando. And I volunteered at the festival, and it's a great festival. I have nothing but great things to say about the festival. It's a great festival, but the first year I volunteered, you get to go watch the movies. I went to the Midnight Shorts program, not knowing what midnight movies were. Like I didn't have any kind of like basis of reference for what I was going to see. So I went in there, and from the very first movie, I like to call it out every time somebody asks me this, even if I sort of embarrass the creator. There's a guy named Steve Gerard who made a short film called Wad Up, and it's about 2.5 minutes long, and it changed my life. It just absolutely, like, my fucking brain melted out of my face. I had never known before that moment. My exposure to outsider movies or to what's the word you get, subversive movies was very, very limited, and I had never known that you could just make something so bizarre, so defiant of what I thought movies were supposed to be. And so in just the span of this 2.5 minutes at the beginning of the Midnight Shorts at Florida Film Festival, my whole life turned around. I suddenly knew what I wanted to create. I knew I was a filmmaker. I'd gone to film school. But at that point I suddenly realized, oh, this is what I want to do, is I want to make these fucking weird ass movies. And then I loved it so much, but it's only like, I don't know, 5% of the festival as a whole is the midnight stuff. And then the rest of the movies are great, but they're all the kind of movies you could go to with your mom or your like normal people. I wanted, where's the festival that's dedicated to nothing but this weirdo shit, And there wasn't anything near me that was dedicated. There were horror festivals, sure. And horror is great, but it doesn't quite encapsulate the thing I'm talking about right now, So I said, I'll do it. Why not me? I'm a mediocre white guy who has no idea what the hell he's doing. Why don't I just jump into it? And I did. And I honestly, when I Film Freeway made it really easy. Anybody who wants to start a film festival, and they do, like there's 10 million of them now, but like I was afraid that first year that I wasn't going to get enough material, that I was going to have to go like begging and scraping the stuff that I already seen that I knew I wanted. But I actually had, and this is kept up every year. This is a great problem to have. But every year of the festival, I have had to turn away movies that I love just because I'm so limited by the amount of time that I have in my venues, you know? So that's what it is. Like if you're a film fest veteran, you've been to a bunch of film festivals, Sick and Wrong is basically an entire festival dedicated to those midnight movies that get shunted down to the end of the program at these regular festivals.
Perfect for me.
What about for you guys, Neil and Trista, like maybe a movie or a film that kind of shook y'all and got you interested in this kind of work?
Neil, do you want to answer? Or
I grew up
answer.
just watching weird movies. Like when I was a kid, I loved Basket Case and The Stuff. That's probably two of my favorite weird movies. And
Stuff. I just watched that for the first time.
I should have. I have a hat that has a bunch of painted images of weird stuff, and it's got Basket Case and the stuff on. But those are probably. I mean, I love Creep Show, but that's not really mainstream. But I would say that's a little more mainstream than Basket Case or The Stuff. But I just really love movies. I mean, I love The Godfather and things like that. But to me, if I liked it, is all that mattered. When I was a kid, I didn't really think too much different of watching The Godfather, watching Basket Case. It was just like, I like these movies. And then when you get older, you realize, not everyone, is into these bizarre, strange movies. But I don't know. I would say those are probably, and then, but they still, every once in a while, you still see something that's really weird, like The Greasy Strangler. And it kind of brings me back to like you could still make something that's totally strange. Like you think by now, maybe you can't, you've run out of ideas of weird stuff, but you can still make something that is totally bizarre.
Well, not to jump in, I want to hear Trista's answer, but just as a side note, I'm still like on top of trying to run the Kickstarter campaign at this moment. I'm trying not to because submissions are open for Sick and Wrong right now. And so I'm trying not to let the submissions, my queue, get too long. I'm trying to keep up on my queue. And yeah, people are still making some pretty weird shit, and it's delightful. I'm loving it.
Yeah, when I found the festivals, it was a great experience because I got to see a lot of weird stuff that because doing the show, we get a lot of screeners for movies, and I won't name names, but a lot of them are just kind of run-of-the-mill stuff that, it's like the haunted house movie, and it's some of those can stand up, but a lot of them are just basically the same movie you've seen a million times, and it's not very exciting. But then if you see something really bizarre, to me, that's a lot more exciting. If there's just something weird about it, or you could tell people made it, had fun, or just something different about it. But
I agree.
Steven, you mentioned submissions are open. Do you want to tell people where they can submit their film?
Yeah, sure. I guess the easiest thing to do is go to sickandwrongfilm.com. That's sickandwrongfilm.com. That's our website. But if you are a filmmaker, you're probably already on Film Freeway. You can search for Sick and Wrong on Film Freeway. It's Sick and Wrong. I don't know why I did that. I'm really, really bad at naming things, except for I feel good about Fat Fleshy Fingers as a name. I like that a lot. But otherwise, I'm really bad at naming my own movies and naming the festival and stuff. So Sick and Wrong is on Film Freeway. We've been doing this for years. And I try not to crow about it too much, but for years we've been offering the representation discount, which is this year it's a 25% discount to any film that was specifically directed by anybody from an underrepresented community, a woman filmmaker, a trans filmmaker, a Black, Indigenous, Asian, Latino filmmaker, a disabled filmmaker, anybody who's directed a movie and is a member of one of these communities can just send me a message and I'll give you a 25% discount to submit. But those submissions are going on right now. We actually have, I guess I shouldn't share specific numbers because it's weird, but we have more submissions already, less than 2 months into the submission period, than we've had for, I think, 2 out of the last 5 years of the festival. So we got a ton of submissions right now. Keep them coming. I love it. I'll drown in this stuff. I love it.
Very cool. All right, so Sick and Wrong Film Festival, submit your stuff there. Fat Fleshy Fingers. So you say you like this name. Is there a story behind the name? I like the name too, by the way.
The name, it's okay. So it's a direct. I stole it. I wish I had been the first human to ever string these three words together. But I stole this. It's a lyric from a song.
Really?
By a band called Neutral Milk Hotel, and it's a lyric from a song called "Oh Comely" off their big record, "In the Aeroplane Over the Sea." And when I grabbed it, and I would love to hear from the other filmmakers on this. When I grabbed it because it was a little sequence that always kind of stuck in my head as being kind of disconcerting and vaguely dirty, and just kind of had this weird kind of aura of grossness to it, like grossness and sexiness at the same time, but there isn't anything really overt about it. And I just loved how suggestive it was. And I grabbed it thinking, Neutral Milk Hotel, that's that band I listened to back in 1998. Nobody cares. Like, nobody's going to catch this. This is going to be a nice little Easter egg. And then I started talking to the filmmakers. It turns out fucking everybody in the world loves Neutral Milk Hotel.
Well, what did everyone think of the name when you heard it? See, Lauren, what did you think of the name when you heard, like, hey, do you want to be involved in Fat Fleshy Fingers?
I like it. I like that it's awkward to say. I feel like, well, because my name is, I feel like I always have a hard time saying Flinner. Like FL words are kind of they get like stuck in your mouth. But I feel like
weird mouthfeel, yeah.
Conceptually interesting.
Fat fleshy fingers get stuck in my mouth very often.
I'm sorry.
See, it just sounds so dirty, even like. Anyway, I'm sorry, Lauren.
I like it, and I also just love the idea of as a collagist, like plucking things out of the context that they're usually in, and giving them a new story. So I love the idea of us all kind of looking at the same material in a way like this. So we're all riffing off of Neutral Milk Hotel. I love it.
I wonder if do they know of this? I wonder if they'll be happy about this movie.
I think Michael Epstein's good friends with Jeff Manga. Man, it's like you guys text each other.
Yeah, no. So In the Airplane Over the Sea is my favorite album ever. And I used to play in a ukulele tribute band to Neutral Milk Hotel called Neutral Uke Hotel, where we played this album every night and toured around the country. And it was more like facilitating a sing-along than like performing almost, because it has an amazing, there's something very special about this record, that it has this like, it's not mainstream known, but the people who love it like really, really love it and know every word to it and just want to like, scream it as loud as they can. And the band kind of quit immediately after putting out the record, and it got a big following. So they only toured for a short time. So most people had never seen them live. So when we created this thing, we would play it and people would just be like, it's not because of us, but it even for me, it felt like almost like what a religious experience, I guess, would be for people, where it's like a really, really cathartic emotional experience. And after we did that for a few years, we had kind of cleared it with their lawyers, I guess, sort of through some channels. Like they were fine with it. And then eventually they came back and started playing again live. So we retired doing it. We forced them to come back because they're like, these guys are ruining our music. We need to. So that was a roundabout answer to me saying that I love the record. I think it actually embodies the same kind of spirit as what Stephen is doing with Sick and Wrong, where it's like, it's really, really hard to explain what's beautiful about it. But the record is kind of, like if you listen to it, you might not even really understand any of it, but it's ostensibly, he read the Diary of Anne Frank and got really like sort of embedded in the mindset of like what it's like to be a victim lost to time and all the potential lost as a result of that. And wanted to create this story about like living across time and like almost not quite like rescuing Anne Frank, but like, so there's something about that with it. And the idea that you can look at like beauty across time in a way. That's a very abstract and pretentious way to talk about it, but it's like, it's just a really amazing record. And there's so many like great lines and great moments in it. And I think we're probably going to name our segments. Am I spoiling it? We're probably going to name our segments after like little lyric snippets from the album. So anyway, if you like that record, I feel like this movie will also be something that might speak to you. You know, it's the same kind of spirit, even though it's really nothing. It's not like it's based on it or exactly similar. But
Right.
yeah.
And there were some other. Sorry. There were some other good suggestions for names in reference of other, like I think one was like Jeff Magnum's Little Problem, or like Orgy of the Blood Parasite.
Orgy of the Blood Parasite.
Who came up with Sharing is Caring?
Sharing is Caring. Yeah, I did
I was
that one.
into that. I voted for that one. I was into that. But I think if we're going with titling our segments, I've been kind of thinking about all the different ways to die. For mine,
I like We Move to Feel. For mine.
That's really good.
If you'll forgive me a little bit of shamelessness here for a second, if somehow somebody listening to this has not heard In the Aeroplane Over the Sea yet, you have a unique opportunity right now. Don't listen to it yet. All right. I love the album. I want you to listen to it. Just don't listen to it yet, because one of the perks that you can get your hands on, and this is not going to be broadcast over the internet. This is, like I said, all the perks on the campaign are specifically for backers. So one of the perks you can get your hands on is a karaoke video album of the filmmakers behind this movie doing all the songs from In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. And you have, if you haven't heard the original album yet, which you should definitely listen to, just not yet, you have this unique opportunity to hear us mangle it first, and then you can listen to the real thing.
I love it.
So this might be a good time to bring up that I don't think either of us have ever listened to any of these songs. So
That's perfect.
Gasp. All right, fired. They're off the project. Sorry. It was nice having you guys.
Without that knowledge, what did you guys think of the name?
I was down for the name. Yeah, I like the name.
Yeah.
Good. I think we have the album around here on vinyl too. I think we've just never actually listened to it.
There's an instrumental song, and I've already called that one for the karaoke. But no, because I will sing the trumpet noises. I'm very good at trumpet noises.
It's such a cool, like, weird sound. Like, so when we used to play that, we had a trumpet player in the band, and he would do the like squawky. For anybody who knows it, it has a squawky trumpet. Like, it's not really notes. I don't really know how to explain it, but that was like a favorite moment of everybody. I don't know why. It's a really neat, like, weird. It's hard to explain any of this without the context of hearing it, but
you just described the festival and everything the festival's ever been. It's so hard to explain if you're not just looking at it.
So it's on Kickstarter, and it's the Kickstarter does it. I hate to bring this up, but if it doesn't meet the goal, it's not going to happen.
You are
can't
correct.
afford any slime mold, then.
You are correct. So the way Kickstarter works, and not everybody knows this because there's a lot of other platforms out there, crowdfunding platforms that do things differently. But the way Kickstarter works is, first of all, and this I have to pound this into my friends' heads all the time, but first of all, nobody pays. Nobody gets charged anything until the campaign ends. All right. For us, that is this coming Thursday at 11 a.m. The campaign will be over this coming Thursday at 11 a.m. July 1st, 11 a.m. So first of all, nobody gets charged until the campaign is over. The other thing that you were just talking about, Neil, is that Kickstarter is a totally all or nothing proposition, which means if we don't at least hit our goal, no money changes hands at all. So, I mean, we get nothing and you pay nothing and no movie gets made. That's not true. I promised when I brought all these filmmakers on, I promised to pay them some production money out of my pocket. But I'm super, super broke, and the amount that they would get would be probably insulting. Is that fair to say? Like, the amount of money that I would offer you guys is pretty insulting. So we would really, really appreciate everybody's help getting this. We're pretty close. We're close to the end there. We're not far from the finish line, but we could use a little boost.
What was the what made? I'm sorry, not interrupt you. I was just wondering, why did you go with Kickstarter? What is the benefits of Kickstarter?
So to me, so there, I think of it in terms of like, if you contrast Kickstarter's all or nothing model with Indiegogo's flexible model, for instance, right? With Indiegogo's model, I mean, doesn't matter. With the flexible goal, people put in their money expecting to get a certain perk, right? Like we have a perk, for instance, where you can get your own worm. All right, we have a perk where you can get your own worm. That is a big deal because there's a very finite number of worms, so there's a pretty high ticket on that perk, right? If we went with a flexible goal and somebody pledged for that worm, but then we didn't make our overall goal, well, now we're sort of still morally obligated to give this person the worm, but we don't have the money that we have decided we needed to make the movie with, you know? Does that make sense? I don't want to hamstring the filmmakers with much less money than they need to make their segments. I just feel like it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of sketchy. There's a lot. I don't want to spend an hour talk about this. I really could. I spent a long time thinking about which format to go with, and another big thing is the cost of fulfillment, right? If you have a flexible goal and only some perks cost me more money than other perks. For instance, like a digital only perk tends to not cost as much as something I have to mail to somebody. But if we had a flexible goal and everybody bought expensive perks, well, then all the money we get goes to perk fulfillment, and then we don't have very much money to make the movie. Anyway, there's a lot of considerations. I personally think, and I did think this before I read Michael's book, but Michael's book kind of agrees with me that Kickstarter is probably the most straightforward way to go about this kind of thing, because you don't want to, if you're trying to make a movie and you raise $1,000 on a flexible goal, well, all those people who gave you that $1,000 kind of still expect to get whatever they asked for. And so now you have to give them what you promised them and also still make a movie out of it. And I just feel like that's a tough way to go.
Yeah. What were you about to say, Michael, if I think I interrupted you?
I was just going to say we're not going to be able to afford spaceships or cursing children unless this campaign comes through.
Cursing children, they do cost a premium.
They do. Well, one thing I want to say, I'm sorry, I always ramble, but I think like there's really an opportunity for people who want to support artists, because everybody's always like, they just make Marvel movies and all this stuff, and there's no like interesting new ideas and whatever. But like, for a project like this, every dollar you put into this is like really being stretched as far as it possibly can be stretched. Like every filmmaker involved in this knows how to make something that really, really exceeds the amount of money that they're actually, the cash money that they're actually using. And so like, I know, okay, yeah, you pay for Netflix and you get 500 movies. So in a way, like this is a bad value to support one movie for $25 or $30 or $50, but it's really like an investment into like creating art in the world that I think deserves to be made. I mean, I know I'm biased in this project, but I think this kind of thing is what deserves to be made and be out there and be supported. And it's an opportunity for people to put their money where their mouth is when they say like, oh, I'm sick of just seeing, money go to $500 million movies. I want to see some independent art. This movie will be unique. It will be different, and every filmmaker has a really strong voice. That's why Steven picked everybody, because every person involved, and I've seen films from everybody involved, they have amazing talents, individual voices, and ways of generating kind of ideas that are different than anything else you will see. And I said to Steven before that we're all kind of chaotic neutral filmmakers. And he brought together a bunch of like crazy, people are going to be individuals and do their own thing. And so he's doing the really hard work of taking a bunch of crazy, chaotic, neutral people and reeling them in so we can create something that's unified and powerful and has, a kind of a story that's that's threaded together, and I hate to use the word synergy, but is a synergistic presentation of everybody's talents. So that's my rant anyway. So please, look at the campaign and throw some money at it.
Very well said. Trista, did you have one more question?
Yeah, so let's say someone at home is super charmed by you and they want
Obviously.
yeah, or they believe in everything that Michael has just said, right? And but maybe they don't know that much about filmmaking. Can you just real quick maybe explain what the money goes to exactly?
Yeah, that's a good question. In large part, it's gonna vary so much between the different filmmakers. For instance, like Michael has said, he wants to get a and I don't want to trivialize. Like I've read his treatment for it, and it's amazing. But he wants to get a spaceship set, and that those are not cheap. I know that Lauren has an idea. I don't know if she's still toying with it or not, but she has an idea about building a planar camera, a multiplane camera, because she's an animator. And having a multiplane camera is what I don't know whether everybody knows this already or not, but it was news. Anyway, a multiplane camera is what made all of Disney's old animation so amazing.
Actually,
right?
Lottie Reiniger should get the credit.
You
Disney
are-
gets it.
You are 100% right. I watched the Lottie documentary, and I felt bad while I was saying that. But she sadly did not get famous from it. But yeah, Lauren can build a multiplane camera if she has a little bit more money. I don't know what everybody's. We have. I guess at this point in the campaign, my goal was to introduce all of the filmmakers over the course of the month, but because schedules are such a fucking nightmare, I haven't been able to introduce anybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and spill some beans here for the viewers of Without Your Head. One of our filmmakers is Anthony Cousins, who made a movie that a lot of people saw called When Susurrus Stirs, and then he made another movie called The Bloody Bout of Squirt Reynolds. And he is a very he's got a incredible knack for practical effects. He's made some fucking amazing practical effects, but that stuff costs money. So I'm not exactly sure what he has planned yet, but I know that it's going to be heavy on that kind of stuff. Then oh man, who else? We have a filmmaker in Finland, and by the way, everybody in Finland, I guess, is born with like a subversive filmmaking degree or something, because everything that comes out of Finland is just fucking amazing and weird. So we have a filmmaker in Finland who's going to be shooting a piece, and he's another big practical effects and large set. They can really make their money stretch over there in Finland, I guess, because of like government arts support and things like that. But anyway, I guess I'm sorry. The short answer, Trista, is that everybody has different requirements for the money that they need. Some people are going to be paying actors. Some people are going to be paying a lot for effects. Some people are going to be paying a lot for scenery. This is all the kind of stuff that, Hollywood wants you to think that they can replace with CG, except it never works that way. This is all the stuff that makes the movie feel real and makes it fun to watch. And it's not free. We're not asking for a lot. We're talking about an amount of money that, like, I don't want to keep beating up on Marvel, but like the cost of our entire movie is like craft services for one day on Avengers Infinity War 5 or whatever. So we're not asking for a ton of money. And like Michael said, everybody on this project really knows how to stretch a dollar. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff where and at the very least, we're talking about taking people's time. And I think that everybody's time is worth something. Everybody's time should be worth something. And I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm veering off topic. I just really want all these filmmakers to have the resources they need to make the segments that they've envisioned already.
So the money goes to the filmmaker.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear. Okay, fuck me. Yes, Okay, so normally, I don't know. This is one of the things that I've done dumb. You've asked about running a Kickstarter, And one of the things that you absolutely should, if somebody out there is thinking about running a Kickstarter, one of the things you absolutely should plan for is to spend between a third and even a half of the money you raise on fulfilling your perks. I didn't do that because I'm a very dumb guy. I'm going to be carrying the brunt personally of the cost of the perk fulfillment. And so the vast majority of the money that we raise is going straight to the filmmakers. The way it's going to break down is Kickstarter is going to take about 9% for fees and stuff. I'm going to take maybe 10% for fulfillment, and then everything else is going straight to these guys. I'm handing it over to them and letting them use it how they see fit to make their movies or their segments.
How many segments will there be?
At the moment, there are, well, I don't know why I'm saying at the moment. We have 8 segments plus the interstitials. So there's a total of 8 segments connected by Gerline and Anthony's interstitial segments.
This is kind of getting, far in the future, but what are the plans once it's done? What would you like to do with it?
So what I would really like to do with it is there are a couple of festivals I would like to play it at. I don't want to try to, I'm not judging anybody else's festival strategy at all, but I'm not really interested in trying to rack up 100 laurels. There's like 4 or 5 festivals that I would really love to get into. Some of which are probably mutually exclusive. But anyway, I would like to have a nice short festival run of my big personal biggies that I've always been on my wish list. And then I'd like to go to like a boutique distribution place, someplace that's going to give it a nice physical media distribution and put it up where people can see it. Because that's the whole point. Like the impetus, I don't want to try to sound too noble or anything like this, but like, the festival, I have fallen so deeply in love with these filmmakers. And this is honestly, I don't want to put any carts before any horses or anything like that. But there's a lot of a lot of Sick and Wrong alumni I think deserve more attention. And so this project is really a way for me to take these people whose work I love and try to push it out there instead of the other way around, where normally at the festival all this stuff comes to me and I get to enjoy it and put it on my screen. But now I want to shove their faces out there. I want to take these guys and put their work out there where other people can see it, and it's all about lifting them up. So I would love to get, like I said, a boutique release or get on some services where people can watch this movie and see the great stuff that Michael Arcos makes, and Lauren Flinner and Gerline Ryan, Anthony Shepard, and Michael Epstein. Well, maybe Michael Epstein.
You can always cut one of the segments.
Sure. Yeah. Right. We got some leeway now.
Yeah. He accidentally, when he sent the email, Gmail tries to like recommend people. So when he sent the original recruitment email, it recommended me. He accidentally clicked that and he felt bad after, but it's cool. We worked it out. Anyway.
That happens to me a lot, accidentally sending messages to people I don't really want involved. That's an I'm sorry.
Oh. So we'll have the link for the Kickstarter. Is there anything else that people could go to and follow what's going on?
The social media, yeah. Sick and Wrong. I don't have Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. I hate Twitter. Twitter is a nightmare for me. But I am. The festival is on Instagram and Facebook, and I've been doing a lot of, like, every week I've been doing these drunken rambling updates on Fridays. But I guess next Friday the campaign will be over. But there's a lot of stuff on the Facebook. There's a lot of videos where I've been introducing the filmmakers. There's perk spotlights and things like that. That's all been going up on, most of it's been on Facebook, but a lot of it has been on Instagram as well. And so far, on Kickstarter, you can post. Anyway, there's a bunch of updates on Kickstarter itself too. So like if you go on the Kickstarter, there's a little tab there for updates. You can see a lot of stuff in that tab because I've made all the updates public so far. I'm not going to try to narrow it down to backer stuff until after the campaign's over. But there's a lot of big updates in there with a lot of information. And always, I'm available to message. Please message me, anybody. Even I've been begging people to message me. If there's a perk that you don't see that you think should be there, message me. If you want to offer $1,000 for Anthony to shave his beard. Message me. We can make this happen. We'll talk about it. Right?
Oh man, yeah, you better jump on that because I almost did it this morning.
See. Lauren already cut her hair. I guess
Could've
not
been
for
too
any
late.
money.
Yeah. Oh no, I should have done something.
That's fine.
I have grooming available for money. So
yeah, one of the things that's important about a Kickstarter is obviously we're trying to raise money, and please please, we need your money. Obviously we are trying to raise money, but also we're trying to build a community for this movie because it's going to come out at some point, and at some point it's going to be playing in theaters in a town near where one of the backers lives. And we're going to want that backer to go to the theater and go to that festival and watch the movie. We want those people out there. So we're trying to build a relationship with everybody who helps us make this movie. And that's why all of the perks are so personalized. That's why they're all unique. That's why they're exclusive to this campaign.
Very cool.
And I don't want to speak for Steven, but at the $1 level. So if you really have no money, you can find $1, I think. And even at the $1 level, that puts your name in the credits. And I think the reason that he did that, I don't want to, he's drinking, so he can't say, but I don't want to, but I think the reason he did that is because it really is about building that community. And we do really value, even if it's not a lot of money, we value the involvement and the contribution and the support, the idea that you're saying that you want this film to be made, so that every person counts. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have a ton of money, so I can't be part of it. $1 is part of it. $10,000 also part of it. But
$6,000, and that's one of my perks. I'll do a painting and you can show it off to your corporate buddies. I don't know.
hanging in your penthouse office.
Yeah.
Down at the Citibank building.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this happening, and I like everyone involved, and I like weird stuff, and I love fat fleshy fingers. So I'm all aboard. This has been very fun to talk to everybody.
Thank you for having us, Neil
Thank
and
you.
Tristan.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you both.
Appreciate you guys.
Look,
Thank you.
kind of wiggles.
It does wiggle. It's unnerving how it moves, and it's got. I love the little I don't know why I'm so fascinated with this little bumpy pokey tail.
Whatever, each to their own, I guess. But,
All
right. We'll talk to everyone soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Trista. Thank you, Neil. Thank you guys for
Neil,
coming.
Tristan, everybody, see you later.
Thanks for watching. And go donate even $1, as Michael said.
Even $1, absolutely.
Oh, my phone's